Yes, people, welcome back again to another Offside Trap podcast, YouTube video, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. We're here again. There's only two of us on this one. Dan unfortunately can't make it, and neither can Doctor, but that's fine. Me and P are here to take it away. P, you've got some questions for me after the performance against Liverpool. Obviously, it was the Chelsea-Liverpool Cup final. P, take it away.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. So going into 2:00, team news comes out. Liverpool, subsequently no Salah or Darwin, probably their main two players over the course of this season. What are your thoughts and what was your thinking for Chelsea?
A sigh of relief. The only thing I wasn't relieved with was seeing Conor Bradley in the lineup over Trent. I would have preferred seeing Trent in the lineup ahead of Conor Bradley. But yeah, the Salah and Nunes and stuff like that we saw at Anfield. Do you know what I mean? Nunes just causing nuisance all over the back line, and so did Salah. So yeah, I was relieved in general with the whole thing.
No, yeah, it must have been a breath of fresh air to see someone like Salah not in the starting lineup. Yeah. Look, we're going to 20 minutes. I think Chelsea's first real opportunity come when Cole Palmer makes Kelleher make a save and Jackson misses the follow-up. At that point, Chelsea are on top. Are you thinking that you can go on and win the game, or are you thinking that Liverpool must come back into this game?
I think we showed that we were in the game. And after the 20-minute mark, anything after the 20-minute, I don't think it would have been fair to make a statement to say that Chelsea weren't in it at any other point in the game, even in extra time. There was always chances being thrown about by Chelsea. We were conceding points or conceding opportunities from Liverpool throughout the game as well. But no, I didn't think that. I was disappointed in the first 20 minutes. I will say that. I feel like we looked lazy. We looked like we weren't interested. But yeah, that real opportunity that we got really seemed to wake the boys up. And yeah, we did go out there and try and get a few more goals. So yeah, I'd say that we showed a lot more fight after that.
Would you say someone of Cole Palmer's ability should be burying that from where he was on the field?
Repeat that again, sorry.
Would you say someone of Cole Palmer's ability should be burying that shot from where he was, or are you going to put it down as a good save from the Liverpool keeper?
I think it's a bit of both, in fairness. Like I do think if we're looking at it as a whole, Cole Palmer, you can do better. But then also, I feel like Kelleher deserves man of the match for that game. If it weren't for him, I genuinely believe that we could have easily gone 2 or 3-0 up. Obviously, they did have their chances, but yeah, without Kelleher in it, I 100% think that we could have been able to score a lot more.
Yeah, cool. On the half-hour mark, Chelsea have a goal ruled out for offside, which was Jackson was the one that was offside by VAR. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
It was offside. Jackson had, a kneecap offside, it looked like on the VAR panel. But yeah, overall, that sort of stuff happens. I do think it was offside. Although it was narrow, it was offside. But Sterling did well to get a back stick and put it in, even if it was deemed offside.
Yeah. Then 39 minutes in, Liverpool hit the post, sort of start to get a hold of the game, so to speak. At this point, are you thinking just hold out to half-time, try and get into half-time at 0-0, or are you still thinking that you can get a goal?
No, at that point, I was trying to hold on. At that point, I was hoping that we would just hold on to the draw, refresh, and come out in the second half looking to fight a bit harder and with a bit more passion on it.
Yeah, I think Liverpool looked like they were going to take over from then on in, really. So Liverpool score on the hour, okay, with a Van Dijk header that is ruled out for offside. Now, I think this is a big talking point within the game because, as we see in the first half, Chelsea have a goal ruled out for offside with VAR. Referee doesn't go to the monitor. Now, with this one, it's slightly more different because the referee went to the monitor, and it's the first time that I've seen a referee go to the monitor for an offside shout. Why do you think that the referee went to the monitor instead of VAR drawing the lines like they normally do?
Because I don't think it was in doubt whether he was offside. I think he was offside. The doubt was what he did from that offside position. He was offside, which then led to obstructing Colwill from marking Van Dijk. So, I mean, if you're looking at it from an extreme point of view, with my blue tinted glasses on, I would say that Colwill would have intercepted the header that Van Dijk ultimately won. But yeah, we never know with those sorts of things. But I definitely think with that sort of thing, it is ultimately it is one of those things.
Yeah. 15 minutes from the end, Cole Palmer's down on the right-hand side, Chelsea's right. He puts in a low ball, Gallagher flicks it on, he hits the post. At that point, are you thinking this is not going to be our day?
No, I was still holding that hope. I was still believe. Look, it did wreck me seeing that ball bounce off the post like that, but 100%, there was no shadow of a doubt that we were still in this again. Like we were just getting closer. It was an offside goal. We were getting closer. Then we hit the post, but I did feel like we weren't out of it for a shadow of a doubt. I thought we were in it still throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I actually thought that Liverpool had spells where they were hot and cold. Moving on to extra time. Now, this is a big thing for me because extra time, I just felt like Chelsea didn't get started at all. Why do you think that was?
I think a lack of experience and a lack of age from the players. I think, we do have a lot of youngsters out there. You do have the likes of Palmer and Mudryk and Madueke and every all of our players pretty much are out there youngsters. They're not experienced enough to be going toe to toe with a club like Liverpool for 120 minutes. They could barely survive 90 during the league game. So to go out there and put in 120, it was a big ask, especially going into that extra time. Yeah, it was a tough one from there.
Yeah, it was a. Lastly, what's your thoughts on the goal, mate? Dan said last night in the live that Van Dijk was going to score a bullet header and they were going to win the game 1-0. Subsequently, that's what's happened. What's your thoughts on the game, on the goal? What's your thoughts on the marking?
One word: Disassi. Disassi was caught flat-footed. Disassi was close to it. He looked like he was going to be marking Van Dijk, and then ultimately Van Dijk got away from him, and then it ended up being an aerial battle between Van Dijk and Mykhailo Mudryk. So that one's a pretty obvious one who's going to win that one. So yeah, it was poor from Disassi to be caught flat-footed, not marking Van Dijk when he should have been. But ultimately, I don't think it's the end of the world. Like, I think that we need to keep our heads up. Do you know what I mean? We played a top of the league team and went toe to toe with them for 120 minutes. I can't ask for much more, really, especially from a group of youngsters who don't even know how to play with each other fully yet.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Good point, mate. I want to touch on Conor Gallagher, mate, because to me it felt like he could have had a hat-trick today. The one that sticks in my mind is the geezer's going through. He squares it to Conor Gallagher. He's through on goal in the second half. He's got to be scoring them sort of goals if you're going to go on and win these cup finals. What would you rate Conor Gallagher's performance today, and what do you think of the chances that he has missed?
I'd give him a 7. If he managed to do better with his chances, you're looking at an 8 or a 9, or even an 8. Yeah, an 8.5, a 9 out of 10 for me. I think Gallagher was all over the pitch. He showed good energy throughout the game. He looked like he always wanted to win the ball, and he always wanted to. He always wanted it for Chelsea, and I feel like we've seen him as a captain for Chelsea and a leader. So I think with him, it's vital we keep him in the middle of that park for Chelsea, because I would say, in my opinion, he's the heartbeat in that team.
Yeah, I agree. Also, tonight I've seen some reports of the billionaire bottle jobs. What's your thoughts, mate? Sorry, I had to bring it up.
Look, I'm gonna keep it. Okay, Look,
Sorry, Bill, I had to bring it up, mate.
We have spent £1 billion. We're not I'm not hiding behind that personally. I think that it's a ludicrous price. You're looking at Enzo Fernandez with the World Cup hype. You're looking at Moises Caicedo with Brighton being the catfishes they are with their players, and ultimately that we suffer the consequences for paying too much money. But again, that all stems from the owner. You know, when Todd Bodie came into the club, he sacked any sort of resemblance of Abramovich or the past era that was winning things and wanted to start afresh. So what did he do? He made himself technical director, and then he handled the transfer business. And as we've seen, we went from an old status of old players like Koulibaly came in, Aubameyang came in, to signing all youngsters who haven't worked either. So yeah, it's bottle jobs at the end of the day. That's what it is. I still think that a true bottle job, you're looking at the other colour of London, and that is red. Arsenal being 90% at the top of the league and failing it. I think they're more of a bottle job than a League Cup final against top of the league when you're mid-table. I think it's a bit more of a bottle job from them. But at the end of the day, we have spent £1 billion and we've got to hold that with high regard, and we've got to be ready for fans to give us the absolute shite that's going to come from it.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Lastly, Bill, for me, is what is next for Pochettino? Obviously, it's another cup final and another defeat. He's still yet to win a major trophy in England. And obviously, I'm going back to his time with Tottenham as well. What do you think's next for Poch and Chelsea?
So there's two things that are on my mind. One of them being Mourinho. I'm genuinely 50-50. I will back Pochettino to the end, because at the end of the day, he's the manager, and I feel like we have got a project built with him and we are building something with him. So to sack him and start over again is just going to delay it by another year. So there's no point of even trying to at least give him. In my opinion, I would say let's not even move on until the end of next season. Give him 2 full seasons, 2 transfer windows, and let's actually give him time to see what he actually can produce. But yeah, I've seen rumours of Mourinho, and the other half of me thinks that I would love the Portuguese maestro, masterclass, beautiful man that is Jose Mourinho back at the club. He breathes and lives Chelsea Football Club, and I think that he would install that mindset of that Abramovich sort of era back into the players a little bit. But I don't know if that's really what we need. Sorry about that. There was some breaking news, and we have just seen a wild Dr. Ketspia in the backstage, and it has just come through like that. This is one for the making. Doc, how you doing?
Good evening. How are we?
Evening, Doctor. You all right? What was your thoughts on today's game, mate?
Well, it was eventful in the end. I think the disallowed goals made it a bit interesting, didn't it? And a few close calls with the woodwork being hit. Missed opportunity comes to mind, really. I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool were for the taking today. I think Chelsea could have really put a dent in the quadruple before it even got going, so to speak. It's just small margins, very, very small margins.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate, 100%. Bill, I want you to take off your Chelsea head now, and I just want us to focus a little bit on Liverpool and their squad today. Obviously, it was a very, very young side that finished the game. You will hear Liverpool fans talking about it's our reserve team or our youth team. What did you make of their performance in general? Obviously, with they've got Van Dijk and they had the majority of their back four, but going forward, there was a lot of youngsters in there. What did you make of their performance?
I mean, to start the game off, I do not want to be hearing anything other than it was Chelsea's to win at that point, and we fumbled the bag properly. You know, they're putting a bunch of under 21s and a bunch of youth players and a bunch of youngsters who have never played at that level. So to bring them on, I think that showed that we were there to go and win it, and we still couldn't even do it. But yeah, moving on to Liverpool's performance as that aspect of it, I think Van Dijk showed his class, the leadership, and the level of responsibility he took on to lead sort of everyone on that pitch. You saw Robertson coming back from an injury. He looked a bit tired toward the end, hence why he came off, but he looked solid. Connor Bradley, I highlighted as well. I think he's a true talent, and I was hoping to see Trent rather than Connor Bradley, because I think Connor Bradley offers more than what Trent can. But yeah, I especially impressed with the youngsters. They all look like that they weren't youngsters. They looked like they played there. They looked like they were comfortable there. The only thing that I could really say about them is, because of their youth, that you could see them sort of hesitating quite a lot in the final third. They didn't want to shoot. They wanted to pass it, or they wanted to lay it off. And yeah, ultimately that cost them a few more goals that they could have had.
Wicked, Bill. Cheers, mate. I think that's a true summary. Doc, what was your opinion on their youngsters, mate? What did you? I know you like to. I know you sort of delve in the kids sort of side of it with the football. I know you watch a lot of Palace's under 18s and 21s. What did you think of Liverpool today and the kids there?
Impressive that they can step up to the big stage and hold their own. I also think that we have to be a bit realistic in football. You know, these players are playing for Liverpool for a reason. You know, these aren't youngsters that ultimately are at a small club with sort of no experience of the big occasion. You know, this is Liverpool Football Club. And if you want to play for Liverpool Football Club, you've got to be ready for Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
These players haven't been picked on pity. They haven't been picked, you know, with any doubt in Klopp's mind that they're good enough. So I think we need to get a little bit away from the fact that, you know, that their age, so to speak, and more of the fact that these are players that are capable and are ready to play for Liverpool. And I think that when these players play for Liverpool, we need to give them the props when they play well. We need to give them a bit of time and a bit of patience if they have a bad day. But we need to accept that these are Liverpool football players and they're there to do a job. And ultimately, that's what they're doing. I can't help but feel like they're just kids is a way of sort of papering over the cracks, so to speak. As in, if they would have lost today, it would have been, well, we lost because we've got the kids. When they win, it's what a great achievement we've done with the kids. It's Liverpool Football Club, top of the league squad, playing against a Chelsea that's struggling. They should be winning the game. And they did.
Yeah, 100%. Right, guys, that's going to conclude our match reaction to Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. If you like what you're hearing, please like and subscribe to our channel. We will be putting more content out there with recordings, and we go live every Saturday at 10 p.m. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Billy for your thoughts on the game. Cheers, Doc, for joining in at the end and giving your opinion as well.
You're very welcome.